Welcome to all of you, Shiksha 360. And today, basically, we will discuss MCQs. Clear? Today, basically, we will discuss MCQ of chapter number 8. So let's start our MCQ series, chapter number 8. The first question on your screen is now question number 16. Basically, a committee headed by which person was set up to basically recommend draft legislation basically on the fiscal responsibility. Clear? So a committee was formed basically to recommend the basically draft legislation on the fiscal policy. Clear? Fiscal responsibility. Clear? Fiscal responsibility. So that committee will be headed by which person? Clear? First one is Dr. E.S. Sarma. Second one here is to be Dr. Shri S.H. Khan. Third one here is to Shri Madhowala Narasimhan. D option is Dr. Ajay Shah. Clear? So basically which person has headed the committee basically to recommend draft legislation basically on the fiscal responsibility? That committee is to be headed by Dr. E.S. Sarma. Clear? E.S. Sarma. And that committee basically was set up in which year? Was set up in the year in January 2000. Clear? In January 2000. And they submit their report. Clear? And they submit their report in July 2000. And after that, basically, committee was set up in the year January 2000, and they submit their report basically in July 2000. And bill was introduced in the parliament regarding that bill introduced in December 2000. Clear? In December 2000. And this bill was enacted as a law. Clear? And this bill was enacted as a law in August 2003. Clear? In August 2003. Clear? So basically this is the whole process. Clear? This is the whole process of that draft legislation. Clear? Basically, a committee headed by Dr. E.S. Sarma set up in the January 2000, and that committee basically submitted its report in July 2000, and the bill was introduced basically in the parliament in December 2000, and that bill was enacted as a law in August 2003. Clear? In August 2003 as a FRBM Act. Clear? As a FRBM Act. FRBM Act basically stands for Fiscal Responsibility. Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. Clear? Budget Management. Please tell fast. This question is clear to all of you. Basically, what is FRBM Act? Clear? And basically, committee was headed by which person? And basically, how the act is to be formed. Clear? How the act is to be formed. Clear? Now move to the next question, question number 17. Very, very important. Basically, this we have already discussed under chapter number 8, part 1. Clear? Monetary policy basically can be either an expansionary or contractionary. Clear? Basically, we have already discussed that monetary policy can be either expansionary policy or it is to be contractionary policy. So basically, which of the following is not a feature of an expansionary policy? Clear? So basically, here they will ask basically regarding the expansionary policy. Clear? So basically, I think there is one option is to be missed. So basically, we have to go with the 3 options. Clear? So which of the following is not a feature of an expansionary policy? Clear? So basically, we have to go through one by one all the points, and basically we have to find that basically which of the following is not the feature of the expansionary policy. Clear? Expansionary policy basically means that we have to increase the money supply in the economy. Clear? Basically, it means that basically we have to increase the money supply in the economy. Clear? So basically, we have to find that which one of the following is not a feature. Clear? Is not a feature. Clear? First one here basically is that it increases the money supply in the economy. This one is correct. Clear? It increases the money supply in the economy. Second one, it is used in case of recessionary situation. Yes, basically when there is less money in the market. Clear? Basically when there is less money or recession in the market, in that case basically it is used. Clear? Basically in that case basically it is used. Clear? Expansionary policy. So that basically to increase the money supply in the market. Clear? Basically their main motive is to basically to increase the money supply in the market. Clear? So basically A point is correct also, B point is correct also. Clear? A rate of interest are kept high. This one is wrong. Clear? Basically at this time rate of interest basically are kept low. Clear? Are kept low. Why? Basically if the rate of interest, clear, basically if at this time if the rate of interest is to be kept low, so basically people will borrow. Clear? Basically people will borrow money from the bank. Clear? People will borrow money from the, clear? In this case basically people will borrow money from the bank. So if rates are already kept high, so basically people will not be able to borrow money. Clear? So this one is the answer. Clear? Basically they are saying that basically which of the following is not a feature, though this one is not the feature. Clear? Rate of interest are kept high? No. Rate of interest are kept to be low in the case of expansionary policy. Clear? In the case of expansionary policy. Clear? On the other hand, contractionary policy is totally opposite to that. Clear? Is totally opposite to that. Under the contractionary policy, basically already there is money supply in the market is very high. Clear? So basically we have to take out money. Clear? Basically we have to take out money from the market. Clear? Basically take out money from the market under the contractionary policy. Clear? In that, basically rate of interest are kept to be high. Clear? Rate of interest are kept to be high. Okay, so basically these are the main difference between the expansionary and contractionary policy. Now move to the next question, question number 8. By changing the SLR, clear? Basically by changing the SLR, SLR basically stands for statutory liquidity ratio. Clear? SLR statutory liquidity ratio. RBI can increase the credit expansion only, decrease the credit expansion only, increase or decrease the credit expansion, or there is no control of RBI in a reduction or increase in the credit expansion. Clear? This one is totally wrong. Clear? Because RBI has control in reduction or increase in the credit. Clear? In the market. So basically by changing the SLR, clear? Basically by changing the SLR, either they can increase or decrease the credit expansion. Clear? Basically they can perform both the function. Clear? Either increase or either decrease. Clear? So basically option number C is the answer. Clear? Option number C is the answer. Clear? So basically what is SLR? Basically under the SLR, basically RB, basically banks have to maintain, clear, some amount basically in the form of cash or gold or approved securities. Clear? Or approved securities. And very, very important, basically, which we have to remember that basically SLR, basically it is determined as a percentage of total demand and liabilities. Clear? Basically it is determined as a percentage of total demand and liabilities. You have to just remember that. Clear? Basically it is determined as a percentage of total demand and liabilities. On the other hand, basically CRR. CRR is to be determined as a percentage of net demand and time liabilities. Clear? Basically CRR, it is basically net demand and time liabilities, and SLR is equal to basically total percentage of total demand and time liabilities. Clear? You have to remember this point. The correct answer here is to be option number C. Now move to the next question, question number 19. The rate at which the banks park their short-term money with the RBI. Clear? Basically means that bank will give their money to the RBI. Clear? By purchasing government securities. Clear? Basically they are giving their money, and basically by giving their money, basically they are getting government securities. Clear? Basically they are getting government securities from the RBI under a repurchase agreement. Clear? Under a repurchase agreement it is called. Clear? Basically which rate? The rate at which the banks park their short-term money with the RBI by purchasing the government securities basically from the RBI under a repurchase agreement, it is called repo rate. No, repo rate is the reverse. Clear? Basically when RBI gives money to the banks. So basically here banks give money to the RBI. Banks give money to the RBI. So that is basically comes under the reverse repo rate. Clear? That is basically comes under the reverse repo rate. Clear? So this is our answer. Clear? This is our answer. Clear? The rate at which the banks, clear? Basically banks give their money to the RBI. Clear? Basically by purchasing government securities from the RBI under a repurchase agreement, it is called basically reverse repo rate. Clear? It is basically called as a reverse repo rate. Clear? It is basically called as the reverse repo rate. And one important question regarding the bank rate, it is also known as the discount rate. Clear? It is also known as the discount rate. Clear? Now move to the next question, question number 20. Basically which of the following, clear? Basically which of the following is not a correct statement? Clear? Basically which of the following is not a correct statement regarding open market operation? Clear? Basically which of the following is not a correct statement regarding the open market operation? Clear? Basically what is open market operation? Clear? It is one of the tool. Open market operation, it is one of the tool of the monetary policy. Clear? It is one of the tool of the monetary policy. And first option, basically we have to find out which of the following is not a correct. Clear? Is not a correct. First one basically RBI buys and sells government securities under the open market operations. This one is correct or not? Yes, this one is correct. Clear. Basically RBI buys and sells government securities basically under the open market operations. Clear. So basically when the bonds are purchased by the RBI, the bond yields move upward. This one is also correct. Clear. Basically when the bonds are purchased by the RBI, clear. Basically when the bonds are purchased by the RBI, the bond yield basically moved upwards. Clear. The bond yield basically moved upwards. And this also clear. Basically when the bonds are purchased by RBI, clear. Basically when the bonds are purchased by RBI, clear. So basically when the bonds are purchased by RBI, so they will give money to the, basically they give money in the market, clear, because they are purchasing back their securities. Clear. So basically it also lets the injects liquidity in the market. Clear. Injects liquidity in the market. Clear. You have to remember all these things. Clear. Basically you are able to relate all these things. Clear. Basically when the bonds are purchased by RBI, the bond yields move upwards, and also it injects liquidity in the market. Clear. On the other hand, basically when the bonds are purchased by the RBI, the liquidity in the banking system increases. Same point basically this is also true. Clear. The liquidity in the banking system increases. Clear. Here the all the above 3 points are correct. So the answer is none of the above. Clear. The answer is none of the above. So on the other hand, basically if the bonds are to be sold by the RBI, if bonds sell by the RBI, so basically when the RBI sells a bond, so basically it, why? Basically to pull out, clear, or pull out or to suck money out of the system. Clear. Out of the system. Clear. So you have to remember all these points regarding the open market operation. Clear. Open market operation. Here the correct answer is option number D. Now move to the question number 21. Very straightforward question. As per Frbm Act, clear, as per Frbm Act, the fiscal deficit is to be reduced by the government to -% of GDP by 31st March 2018. Clear. As per Frbm Act, the fiscal deficit is to be reduced by the government to -% of GDP by 31st March 2018. Clear. By 31st March 2018. Clear. That is basically 3%. Clear. That is basically 3% of the GDP. Clear. 3% of the GDP by 31st March 2018. Clear. By 31st March 2018. Okay. Next one here is to be the Frbm. The Frbm requires. Clear. Frbm. Can anyone tell full form of Frbm? Basically we have already discussed fiscal responsibility. Fiscal responsibility and budget management. Clear. Fiscal responsibility and budget management act. Clear. The Frbm requires a government to set a ceiling on guarantees. The rule prescribes. Clear. Basically up to how much? The Frbm basically requires a government to set a ceiling on guarantees. The rules prescribe basically 0.5% of the GDP, 1% of the GDP, 1.5% of the GDP, or 3% of the GDP. Clear. Basically what it prescribes, basically the rule prescribed 0.5% of the GDP. Clear. The rule prescribes basically 0.5% of the GDP. Clear. 0.5% of the GDP. Clear. So this is our answer. Clear. The rule prescribes basically 0.5% of the GDP. Clear. So you have to remember these straightforward points. Clear. You have to remember these straightforward points. The Frbm basically requires the government to set a ceiling on guarantees. Basically the rule prescribes 0.5% of the GDP. Now move to the question number 23. Clear. So basically consider the following measures. Clear. Basically consider the following measures. Repo rate, cash reserve requirement, reverse repo rate. Clear. So basically they have given repo rate, cash reserve requirement, reverse repo rate. So which of the following, which of the measures given above, these are the major instruments basically used in the liquidity adjustment facility. Clear. Basically which are the instruments, clear, or which are the measures basically used in the liquidity adjustment facility basically above among these three: repo rate, cash reserve requirement, or reverse repo rate. Clear. So please tell fast what is the answer here. So basically they have given that basically consider the following measures: repo rate, cash reserve requirement, reverse repo rate. So which of the measures basically given above is our major instruments used in the liquidity adjustment facility. Clear? So repo rate is used. Yes, this one is used. Cash reserve requirement under the LF. No, this is not used. Reverse repo rate, basically this is also used. Clear? This is also used. Clear? So basically first and third. Clear? Basically first and third is used. So basically we will go A and B, B and C, A and C, or all of them. Clear? Basically first and third. So this one is the answer. Clear? This one is the answer here. Clear? Repo rate and reverse repo rate. Clear? Basically both are the measures basically used under the liquidity adjustment facility. Clear? Under the liquidity adjustment facility. Clear? Further, LAF, clear, is either be under as overnight. It consists of overnight or term repo or reverse repo auctions. Clear? Term repo or reverse repo auctions. Clear? Overnight basically under which? MSF. Clear? Under the overnight basically MSF. Marginal standing facility. Clear? Marginal standing facility. Overnight facility. Okay. Now move to the next question number 24. Clear? Basically we have already discussed this point many times. Clear? The term Frbm Act stands for. Clear? Basically at Frbm basically they are asking what is the full form of. So please tell fast. The term Frbm basically Act stands for fiscal responsibility and business management. No. Fiscal responsibility, this one is correct. And business management act, this is same. No. Fiscal responsibility and budget management, this one is the correct answer. Clear? This one is the correct answer. Clear? Here basically they are given fiscal relationship. No, this is fiscal responsibility and budget management act. Clear? And budget management act. So this one is the answer here. Clear? So this one is the answer here. Now move to the next question. Question number 25. Clear? The question number 25. What is the major objective of Frbm Act was? To clear basically what are the major objective of Frbm Act? So please go through one by one each point and try to understand basically what are the major objectives of Frbm. Clear? Basically as we have already discussed, basically there are four major objectives. Clear? There are basically four main requirements of this act. Clear? So first one, clear? Basically first one, basically they are given a reduce dependence of government on borrowing. Clear? Basically reduce dependence of the government on borrowings. Clear? So this one is under objective of Frbm Act or not? Yes, this one is one of the objective. Clear? So this one is a correct here. Clear? So this one is a correct here. Second one, helps to reduce the fiscal deficit. Clear? Basically helps to reduce the fiscal deficit in a phased manner. This one is also correct one. Clear? This is the main theme. Clear? Basically this is the main theme or main objective of the Frbm Act. Clear? Of Frbm Act. Basically first one, to reduce the dependency of government on the borrowings. Second one, basically help to reduce the fiscal deficit. Clear? Help to reduce the fiscal deficit in a phased manner. Clear? Basically this is the main theme of the Frbm Act. So both of our points are correct here, A and B. Third one, basically we have to go with third one also because one option is also that one basically in which all the points are correct. Third one, third one here basically eliminate the fiscal deficit and the revenue deficit. Clear? As this is not any objective. Clear? To eliminate the fiscal deficit and revenue deficit. Clear? To eliminate the fiscal deficit and the revenue deficit. Clear? So basically our answer is A and B. Clear? Our answer is A and B. So this is our answer. Clear? B option is the answer. A and B only. Clear? A and B only. So here one, sometimes they will ask this one full form which we have to discuss under that WMA. Clear? WMA. So WMA basically what it stands for? Basically WMA basically stands for ways and means advances. Clear? Basically WMA basically stands for ways and means advances. Clear? Sometimes they will ask this type of question. Ways and means advances. Clear? WMA stands for. So please self ask, this question is clear to all of you. Basically what are the major objectives of Frbm Act? Basically the main theme of the Frbm Act basically is to reduce the dependence of government on the borrowings. And second one basically and helps to reduce the fiscal deficit in a phased manner. Clear? And helps to reduce the fiscal deficit in a phased manner. Now move to the next question, question number 26. Clear? Now move to the next question, question number 26. Clear? We have already discussed regarding the expansionary fiscal policy. Clear? Now basically we have to discuss question on the expansionary fiscal policy. So basically which of the following is an expansionary fiscal policy? Clear? Which of the following is an expansionary fiscal policy? First one is the introduction of a new tax. Second one is basically the construction of a new airport. the cutting of expenditure in some government departments, the increased purchase of water from China. Clear? The increased purchase of water from China. Clear? So basically, which one of the following is an expansionary fiscal policy? Clear? Is an expansionary fiscal policy. Clear? The first one is basically the introduction of a new tax. Second one is basically the construction of a new airport. The third one is basically the construction of expenditure in some government departments. Fourth one is basically the increased purchase of water from China. Clear? The increased purchase of water from China. Clear? So this one question is basically for the practice purpose for all of you. Clear? For the practice purpose for all of you. Clear? So you have to comment the answer. Clear? Basically, what is the correct answer of this question? Clear? Think over that and give us the correct answer. Clear? And give us the correct answer. Give us the correct answer. Clear? In the end, basically, I will tell you the correct answer. So think over that. Clear? Now move to the question number 27. Clear? Now move to the question number 27. Clear? Basically, Frbm. This question is also based on the Frbm Act. Basically, Frbm Act basically requires the government to place before the parliament basically three important documents. Clear? Basically, Frbm Act basically requires the government to place before the parliament basically three important documents. And what are these three important documents? Namely, first one is the medium-term fiscal policy. Second one is the fiscal policy strategy. Third one is the macroeconomic framework. Clear? Third one is the macroeconomic framework. Clear? So these documents are required to be submitted at what frequency? Clear? Either they to be submitted monthly, quarterly, half yearly, or yearly. So please tell fast. Basically, Frbm Act basically requires the government to place before the parliament basically three important documents. Clear? You have to remember that basically what are three important documents. First one is the medium-term fiscal policy. Medium-term fiscal policy. Second one is the fiscal policy strategy. Third one is the macroeconomic framework. Clear? Third one is the macroeconomic framework. So these documents are to be required to be submitted at which frequency? Monthly, quarterly, half yearly, or yearly. Clear? Basically, they have to submit yearly. Clear? Basically, these documents are required to be submitted at yearly frequency. Clear? Basically, every year. Every year or each year, basically, they have to submit. Clear? Each year, basically, they have to submit. Now move to the next question, question number 28. Basically, by using the monetary policy, clear? Basically, RBI regulates the money supply, availability of money, and also cost of money. Clear? Basically, by using the monetary policy, basically, RBI regulates the money supply, availability of money, and also the cost of money, that is the rate of interest. Clear? So basically, under the which the RBI buys or sell bonds in the secondary market. Clear? Basically, under which tool? Clear? Basically, under which tool or under which the tool the RBI buys or sells government bonds in the secondary market. Clear? Open market operations, OMO, SLR, CRR, and MSS. Clear? MS basically market stabilization scheme. So basically, under which the RBI buys or sells government bond in the secondary market? Open market operation. Clear? Open market operation. This is our answer. Clear? Open market operation. Now move to the next one. Basically, question number 29. Clear? Basically, this is also same. Just we have to discuss, go through with that. By using the monetary policy, basically RBI regulates the money supply, availability of money, and also the cost of money, that is the rate of interest. For this purpose, basically RBI use, clear? Basically, for this purpose, RBI use basically makes use of number of tools that include repo rate, bank rate, reverse repo rate, MSF rate, SLR, CRR, market stabilization scheme. Clear? Since October 2013, clear? Basically, since October 2013, the RBI has introduced dash of different tenures such as 7, 14, 28. Clear? Basically, which is new tool basically which they have introduced. Clear? Since October 2013, the RBI has introduced dash of different tenures. Clear? Either they have to be 7 days, 14 days, 28 days. Clear? Basically, under the LF, clear? Under the LF, basically there are two things. First one is the overnight facility. Second one is the term repo. Clear? Second one is the term repo of different tenures. Clear? Either it's to be 7 days, 14 days, 28 days. Clear? And this has to be introduced in October 2013. Clear? This has been introduced basically since October 2013. Clear? So basically answer is to be liquidity adjustment facility. No. Refinance facility. No. Basically this is under the refinance facility, but the correct answer is term repo. Clear? The correct answer here is to be term repo. Clear? Basically since October 2013, basically the RBI has introduced term repo basically of different tenures, basically such as 7, 14, and 28 days. Clear? 7, 14, and 28 days. Now move to the question number 30. Basically, dash is a facility. Clear? Basically, dash is a facility under which the scheduled commercial banks. Clear? Basically, dash is a facility basically under which the scheduled commercial banks can borrow additional amount of money. Clear? Dash is a facility basically under which scheduled commercial banks can borrow additional amount of overnight money. Clear? Additional amount of overnight money basically from the RBI by dipping into their SLR portfolio basically up to a limit. Clear? Basically under which they are able to get additional amount of overnight money. Clear? That is basically overnight money from the RBI. Clear? Basically under which facility they are getting overnight money? Liquidity adjustment facility, refinance facility, marginal standing facility, or term repo. Clear? Basically we have already discussed basically under the marginal standing facility. Clear? Basically under the marginal standing facility basically they have the facility. Clear? They have the facility basically to borrow additional amount of overnight money basically from the RBI by dipping into their SLR portfolio up to a limit. Clear? Basically by dipping into their SLR portfolio up to a limit. Clear? Basically why they basically want to take out basically this facility. Clear? Basically to save ourselves. Clear? To save ourselves or to save the banks basically from the liquidity shocks. Clear? From the liquidity shocks. Liquidity shocks to the banking system. Clear? Liquidity shocks to the banking system. Clear? So basically this leads to basically 15 MCQs basically we have discussed in this session, and all the important points along with the MCQs basically we have discussed. Clear? Hope all the MCQs are clear to all of you. Clear? Basically we will provide you 15 to 20 MCQs in your group so that you can also practice those MCQs. Clear? You can also practice those MCQs. Clear? So basically in this session basically we have to discuss up to this much point. So thanks to all of you for attending the session, and if you have any doubt, any query, then you can ask regarding these questions. Clear? Hope it helps us to basically understand some of the important points basically which we have discussed in our session. Clear? So thanks to all of you for attending this session.